Hello friends, today I want to share with you about emotional strength. I know that sometimes when we hear that someone is really strong, two things comes usually to our mind. The first one is we imagine someone lifting up heavy stuff and we imagine them really strong, lifting weight, but that's not the kind of strength I'm going to be talking about today. Also, sometimes we think that someone that is strong is someone that has to put up with everything that people get to do to him or to her. So this is the kind of person that, keeps it inside and does nothing and simply puts up with it. That's not the kind of strength I'm going to talk about. And to me, that's not a strength either. But today I'm going to be talking and sharing with you about emotional strength. And the importance of emotional strength is because it's that kind of strength, that inner strength that we have regardless of circumstances, regardless what kind of situation we're facing, and we are capable of bringing those inner resources out in order to cope with life in life terms. That's the kind of emotional strength that I am referring to. That's the real strength for me that we human beings need to be developing, especially these days with the world that we're living in. And it's just amazing because some people think that we are born being emotionally strong. But the truth is that emotional strength is something that we get to develop and nurture and make it stronger as we work on it. The first ally and the main enemy of the emotional strength is your mind. For both being emotionally strong or being emotionally weak, your mind plays an amazing important role. Why? Because if you are always thinking negatively and thinking about negative things and thinking that things are not going to turn out okay and that things are not going to work out, amazingly, you're going to be weaker and weaker and weaker when it comes to your emotions, okay? Your thoughts turn into emotions. Whatever your mind is welcoming and nurturing, that's going to produce emotions in you. So when you're thinking in a negative way, unfortunately, instead of being stronger, and this is funny because some people think that if they're thinking that nothing's going to work out, they have that mind, that set of mind being ready for everything. What's really going to happen is that you're going to be weaker and weaker, and you're not going to have the emotional tools that you need to cope with life. You're going to feel devastated, you're going to feel hopeless, you're going to feel helpless, and therefore the probabilities that you get to do anything about it are zero. Now, on the other hand, when you think positively, when you think things are going to get better, things are going to work out, I'm going to do my best, and you got that mentality of doing your best and waiting for results and coping with results and everything's going to be okay regardless, that's the kind of mentality that is going to make you stronger. And that's the kind of thoughts that are going to help you nurture your emotional strength. So in other words, you need to watch out what kind of thoughts you're letting yourself have. What kind of thoughts are coming to your mind? What kind of thoughts? Thoughts are like a snowball. They can be really small, but they go getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger depending on if you keep thinking about it, and it just gets worse. So the same thing happens with good thoughts. When you're thinking positively and you practice every day trying this mentality, it helps you feel stronger. It helps you feel better. Things start working out, and sometimes it's like a surprise, but it's like a nice surprise, but you got that mentality that things are going to happen. I have an illustration for you, and it's with a simple example. When we look at athletes and they're working out and they're trying, regardless what discipline or what sport they practice, but they usually have a coach, and the coach is training them to make them stronger and to make them better. You don't hear the trainer, you don't hear that coach saying, "Oh, you're a loser, you're not gonna win, I don't know why you're doing this, you're so weak, you're pathetic." That's not the kind of words that you hear that coach saying to the athlete. What is it that they say? You're a winner, you can do this, come on, you're almost there, you're strong, you can do this. And that's what pushed them ahead of themselves. That's what gives them the boost and motivation that they need. It is the same thing with us. But that means that we need to be our own coach. We need to constantly push us and tell us that we can do it, that we can be better, that we can accomplish things, that we can accomplish our goals, that we get to work things out. And that's the kind of encouragement that we need to give ourselves. We cannot wait for that encouragement to come from the outside, but we need to learn to do that to ourselves. Now, I put together 10 recommendations, specific suggestions. Maybe you already know them, but these are specific things that I have worked on and I have adopted myself, and they have helped me incredibly. But I have also shared this with people that I have been assisting in their emotional process, and it has been incredible help for them as well. And I brought them together to share with you. The first one, there's always a positive side to everything. It is up to you to find it. And this is the moment when we need to talk about gratitude and being thankful, because when we think about gratitude, it's about finding every single day something to be thankful for, something that we can feel that life is good regardless what's going on. And it's the same thing. We need to think there's something positive. There's a positive side on every circumstance. There's always positive on people. There's always positive. I know that sometimes things get really tough and it's hard to connect with something positive, but that's your task. That's your challenge. Right there, you need to connect with something positive, because nothing is 100% bad, nothing is 100% good. It's all a matter of perspective. Now, the second recommendation is reading. Read books. Read books about self-help. Read books that are nurturing your spirituality. Read books about people who were able to overcome and they have been able to come from probably very poor environments, and they have been successful. That's the kind of inspiration that you need. People like you and me that have been able to make it in life, because that's what tells you that we can do it too. So watch out what kind of materials you're reading, because if you're reading something that is tragic, maybe you're going to feel worse after you read it. But when you try to read things that are going to nurture your soul, that are going to nurture your emotionality, and it's going to make you feel better, it's going to give you hope, that's the kind of books that you should be reading, and they help a lot. I can tell you that. I love reading. Now, the third suggestion, the third recommendation is related to that distortion that we have about failure. And we think that if things doesn't come out the way I expect them, I fail. If I don't accomplish this specific goal right now, I failed. And we leave failure as the end of our lives, the end of the world. And it's not like that. As a matter of fact, when things don't come out our way, when things don't turn out to be the way we expected them to be, that thing we call failure, it's only an opportunity to learn, to make adjustments, to do better. So it depends on how you look at failure. So if you see failure as another element of the process of living, you're going to be fine. But if you see failure as something that is going to define you, then you're going to have issues. So change your concept of failure, because again, it's just one more element in the process of living and accomplishing and being successful. My fourth recommendation is live in the present, in the now, today. We find some pleasure in holding on to the past or thinking about the future, and none of them exist, because the past is already gone. Whatever happened, there's no way we can change it, and the future is not even here yet. We don't even know if it's gonna be here. So the only thing we have is the now, and it's just amazing how much time and energy we waste living and thinking about something that does not exist anymore. The past because it's gone, the future because it's not here. We don't know if it's going to come. So by living in the now, you're going to be able to enjoy the present moment. You're going to be able to deal with situations, and that's going to make you feel better about yourself. So that will have a huge impact in your self-esteem and your emotional strength. So live in the present at all times. Now, this recommendation is something that I have also talked about a lot. Be an adult and become responsible of yourself. Assume yourself. We go around giving excuses, justifying, blaming it on the government, on the friends, on my spouse, on my parents, what they did, what they didn't, what they gave me, what they didn't give me. Stop with the excuses and be an adult and assume yourself. Start doing things and make adjustments and make changes, but stop blaming and whining and giving excuses for the things that you don't do. Everything has a result. There's this law, the cause and effect law. Everything you do has an effect. Everything you do has a consequence. So stop blaming it on others and start assuming your own life, because that's what life is about. So sometimes we don't want to do things because we don't want to be responsible of those consequences, and we'd rather do nothing and blame it on everyone else. So that's my recommendation. Start assuming yourself, start taking responsibilities, being an adult, because that's what life is also about. My next recommendation is watch out with your mind and your thoughts. You need to control what you're thinking, because again, as I was saying at the beginning of the session, if all the thoughts are negative, if what you're letting sleep in your mind, it's something about how bad you do it or how awful you are, trust me, it's going to become a gigantic thought, and before you know it, you don't want to do anything. You will feel helpless and hopeless. No, you need to watch out with what kind of thoughts you are nurturing in your mind. And remember that the same amount of effort and energy it takes to think about negative things, the same amount of energy, the same amount of effort it takes to think about positive things. So watch out what you're thinking about. My next recommendation, write down your ideas, write down your feelings, have a journal, because the more you write down how you're feeling, the more you're going to be able to identify them, name them, and realize what kind of adjustments you need to make. So you're becoming responsible of your own feelings and emotions when you write them down. So having a journal is an amazing tool that can help you a lot. And especially because you can see when you manage in a way that you didn't want to manage that way, and you can change it. So it's just an amazing way to reflect on what's happening and why you're feeling the way you're feeling. This is an important one. Take advantage of those days when everything is calm, when your life is at ease, when everything seems to be working and everything seems to be okay and great. That's awesome. Those are moments for you to continue nurturing yourself, your thoughts, what you're reading, doing things you enjoy, because that will give you strength to storage inside of you. So whenever a situation that you were not expecting or something that is not so good comes your way, you're going to be able to have that as a resource to deal with. You're going to have that good vibe, that good energy inside of you. Think about it as if you went to a bank and deposit, and you need those resources to be there, so when you need to withdraw, you have money to withdraw. It's the same thing. When everything it's okay, when everything is calm, that's a moment to continue nurturing yourself, and it's like depositing on your emotional strength bank. Important, have your support net. You need a net of friends, people that really trust you, people that believe in you, people that encourage you, people that love you and want the best for you. It's important to have those people around you. Toxic people, people disqualifying you, people criticizing you, you need to keep those kind of at a distance, because by nurturing yourself with people that are loving and encouraging and people that support you, that gives you strength even when you don't feel you have strength. So keep that in mind, because sometimes, and this is something that I have seen assisting people, we are hanging out with the wrong crew. We are hanging out with the wrong people, and we don't realize how much they are affecting us in a negative way. And we need to become aware of this and do something about it. Finally, my final recommendation is, please learn not to take it all so personally. And I know you might not like what I'm going to say, but the world does not spin around you. The world does not spin around me. You can control what others think or feel, but that does not define you. So let them think whatever they want to think, and just be okay with it. It doesn't make you more or less. It will only make you whatever you allow them to make you. So you gotta stop. We cannot go around the world like a piece of crystal that is gonna break the minute that someone says something. We cannot take it all so personally. It's not about you. It's not about me. So by keeping this in mind, learn to take and leave. If someone says, oh, I didn't like the way you did this, you did that. Oh, okay. Thanks for sharing. And keep walking. Move away. Take whatever constructive you can find and disregard everything else. Because again, it's not who you are. Okay? So just don't take it so seriously, because sometimes we take it all so personal and we're just hurting ourselves. The others are just living their lives and maybe they just say what they thought and the next day they don't even remember that they said that, and you are still holding on to that years after that. Enough is enough. Don't take it so personal. It's not about you. It's not all about me. Thank you so much for joining me on this emotional cafe session, and I hope to see you in our next opportunity.